CTV's Cristina Tenaglia is following the story for us this morning. So, Cristina, what's this meeting focusing on?
Yeah, so to be clear, this is a rare summer session in which it is a request to call on ministers to appear to essentially grill them, to provide answers as to how the two accused in this case were able to access this country, immigrate here, and the elder of the two accused is a Canadian citizen. So it's a meeting to request, to compel Public Safety Minister Dominic LeBlanc, Immigration Minister Mark Miller to have to answer questions. This is something Prime Minister Justin Trudeau touched on briefly yesterday when he was here in Ontario, that Canadians will have answers on this in time. Dominic LeBlanc, the Public Safety Minister, essentially saying the same thing recently and saying it would be inappropriate to comment at this point, or to comment much, as there's a criminal investigation underway. To give you a bit of a background here, it was in late July that 62-year-old Ahmed El Didi and his son, 26-year-old Mustafa, were arrested by the RCMP in a group of, a coordinated group of law enforcement. The RCMP spoke at a news conference. They have a number of terror-related charges that they're facing. The allegations is that these two were planning a mass casualty terror event, terror attack in Toronto, and that it was imminent, maybe perhaps not in a few hours, but close enough. And that they were, in a hotel room in Richmond Hill, Ontario, when police busted them. The elder Aditi saying his son is innocent, the younger Aditi saying that as well. The concerns surrounding the elder Aditi, Ahmed, it has been reported that he was involved in ISIS-related terror violence overseas. So you can recognize not only the concerns of Canadians, but the opposition, the Conservatives, are saying, how did this guy not only access this country, how is he a Canadian citizen? So these are the serious concerns.
And what is Ottawa saying? What have we heard from?
Yeah, so Public Safety Minister Dominic LeBlanc is saying that, there will be, and as well, along with the ministers, the Immigration Minister, a review of the immigration screening process. Marcia, I recently spoke to an expert on extremism about some of the riots that we are seeing in the UK, and what he was saying is, in the UK there's this feeling in terms of far right extremists who seem to think that immigrants can show up and access the country, and there's an element of that when you look at refugees or migrants who show up on boats seeking asylum. But the expert I spoke with said in this country, in Canada, it's far more difficult to immigrate here when you consider even geographically, we're not attached to as many countries. We don't have migrants showing up on boats. And I'm not saying that's what happened in this case here, but certainly ministers are saying, the Public Safety Minister, the Immigration Minister, they're going to review the immigration and screening process, because how did this man who was apparently involved in ISIS terror violence overseas able to not only immigrate here, go through all the checks and balances involved in that, gain access to this country, and he's now a Canadian citizen? Marcia.
Cristina, thank you for that.